Recently, with her dad, she went to the rock, to the spot where her sister was taken.
There wasn't time to go and tell people. I just yelled out, "Has anyone got a torch?" The dingo's got my baby.
The wilderness is beautiful, but it can be deadly. Every year, adventurers chase the thrill of nature, unaware of the dangers waiting. Some never come back, and these tragedies stick with us, showing how quickly a fun trip can turn into a nightmare. In this video, we rank the 5 worst deaths in outdoor adventure history, chosen for their brutality, impact, and horror. From a shocking terrorist attack to a baby's mysterious disappearance and a friend's betrayal in the wild, these stories will chill you. Stick around to discover the heartbreaking truth behind each case, as number 1 will leave you speechless. Number 5, Trevor Huminski. Trevor Huminski was a 20-year-old from Antioch, California, with a deep love for the outdoors. He was set to join the Marines in 2015, chasing a childhood dream. Before shipping out, Trevor wanted one last adventure. He planned a camping trip with his best friend Sheldon Stewart at Bucks Lake in Plumas National Forest, a scenic spot 120 miles northeast of Sacramento. The area, spanning 21,000 acres, is known for its lush forests and serene lake, perfect for hiking and camping. Trevor, an experienced woodsman, had graduated with honors from a wilderness survival course and even made a documentary called Blue Crow about it. His parents, Frank and Allison, saw him hours before he left on August 21st, 2015, excited for the 2-day trip. The first night at Bucks Lake started well. Trevor and Sheldon, both students at Expression College in Emeryville, set up camp and enjoyed the starry sky. But things took a dark turn. They took around 20 hits of LSD and smoked marijuana, diving deep into a drug-fueled haze. By the early morning of August 22nd, their behavior grew erratic. A fight broke out, though the exact trigger remains unclear. Sheldon later claimed Trevor made unwanted advances, but evidence suggests otherwise. In a frenzy, Sheldon stabbed Trevor multiple times with a knife. Court records show Trevor suffered wounds to his back and chest, fatal blows that ended his life. Sheldon didn't stop there. To hide the crime, he dragged Trevor's body to a campfire pit and set it on fire, sparking a small brush fire in the drought-stricken forest. Around 6 a.m., firefighters responding to the blaze made a grim discovery. They found Trevor's burned remains in the pit, smoke still rising. Nearby, Sheldon was barely conscious, with 10 stab wounds to his neck. He claimed Trevor attacked him, but investigators noticed the wounds were in a neat row, likely self-inflicted to fake a defense story. A buried knife, along with Trevor's wallet and ID, was found near the campsite, sealing Sheldon's guilt. Sheldon, 23 at the time, was arrested and charged with murder and arson. He gave conflicting stories to police, first saying Trevor fled into the woods, then admitting he stabbed him to put him out of his misery. The trial in June 2017 was emotional. About 50 of Trevor's loved ones attended, wearing purple, his favorite color, to honor him. Prosecutors argued Sheldon was the aggressor, dismissing his self-defense claim. The jury agreed, convicting him of first-degree murder and arson after less than a day of deliberation. On August 31, 2017, Sheldon was sentenced to 26 years to life in prison, plus 7 years for arson. The First District Court of Appeals rejected his 2019 appeal. Trevor's family was shattered. His mother, Allison, spoke of a hole in my heart that never heals. His father, Frank, had feared outliving his son, a fear that became reality. They keep Trevor's memory alive with tribute walls in their home and by spreading his ashes worldwide, from Australia to Barbados. Trevor was a vibrant soul, passionate about rock climbing, piano, and airsoft competitions. His girlfriend called him her soulmate, a love cut short by betrayal. The case shocked Plumas County, a quiet region with only 20,000 residents. It highlighted the dangers of drugs in remote settings, where help is far away. Bucks Lake, with no cell service, left Trevor defenseless. His story is a stark reminder that even trusted friends can become threats under the wrong circumstances. Now let's move to a tragedy where a family's camping trip turned into a nightmare, sparking a decades-long fight for truth. Number 4. Aaria Chamberlain. On August 17, 1980, the Chamberlain family from Mount Isa, Queensland, set up camp at Uluru, then called Ayers Rock in Australia's Northern Territory. Michael and Lindy Chamberlain, along with their sons Aidan, 7, Reagan, 4, and 9-week-old daughter Azaria, were on a family holiday. Uluru, a 348-meter-high rock spanning 9.4 square kilometers, was a popular camping spot, but dingoes, Australia's wild dogs, roamed the area. That evening, around 8 p.m., Lindy put Azaria and Reagan to sleep in their tent, 30 meters from the campsite's barbecue area. The family joined other campers, enjoying a calm night under the stars. Then disaster struck. Lindy heard Azaria cry out. She rushed to the tent and saw a dingo exiting, its jaws empty but suspicious. Inside, Azaria was gone. Lindy's scream, "A dingo's got my baby!" echoed across the campground. A massive search began, involving 300 people, including Aboriginal trackers. They found dingo tracks around the tent and blood on the mattress, carry cot, and tent flaps. Trackers followed the prints 4 kilometers, spotting drag marks and depressions in the sand, likely from Azaria's knitted jumpsuit, with dark patches suspected to be blood. A week later, on August 24th, a tourist found Azaria's blood-stained jumpsuit near Uluru's base, but her body was never recovered. The first inquest, held in Alice Springs from December 1980 to February 1981, supported Lindy's story. Coroner Dennis Barrett ruled a dingo took Azaria, criticizing the Northern Territory Police for sloppy work. But some officers doubted the dingo theory, believing dingoes couldn't carry a 4.5-kilogram baby. In 1981, a second inquest relied on flawed forensic evidence, like supposed fetal hemoglobin in the family's Holden Torana car, later found to be sound-deadening compound. The prosecution claimed Lindy cut Azaria's throat in the car, hid her body in a camera case, and staged the dingo story. On October 29, 1982, Lindy was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in Darwin's Berrima prison. Michael was convicted as an accessory, receiving an 18-month suspended sentence. The case gripped Australia, dividing public opinion. Media fueled rumors mocking Lindy's Seventh-day Adventist faith and Azaria's name, falsely claimed to mean sacrifice in the wilderness. Lindy spent over 3 years in prison. Then, in February 1986, a breakthrough came. While searching for a British tourist who fell from Uluru, police found Azaria's missing matinee jacket near Dingo Lairs, 150 meters from the jumpsuit. This backed up Lindy's claim that Azaria wore it. On February 7th, Lindy was released, and a 1987 Royal Commission found the evidence against her unsound. On September 15, 1988, the Northern Territory Court of Criminal Appeals overturned all convictions. In 1992, Lindy received $1.3 million in compensation. A fourth inquest in 2012, led by coroner Elizabeth Morris, officially ruled Azaria died from a dingo attack, issuing an amended death certificate. The tragedy left the Chamberlains scarred. Their marriage ended in 1991, and their sons faced years of public scrutiny. The case, one of Australia's most publicized, inspired the 1988 film A Cry in the Dark with Meryl Streep as Lindy. Let's turn to a story where a peaceful hostel stay became a scene of unthinkable violence. Number 3, Mia Ayliffe-Chung and Thomas Jackson. Mia Ayliffe-Chung, a 21-year-old from Wirksworth, Derbyshire, and Thomas Jackson, a 30-year-old from Congleton, Cheshire, were backpackers chasing adventure in Australia. In August 2016, they stayed at Shelley's Backpackers Hostel in Home Hill, Queensland, a small sugarcane town of 3,000 people, 100 kilometers south of Townsville. Both were on working holiday visas, completing mandatory 88-day farm work to extend their stays. Mia, a former psychology student, worked as a waitress before picking fruit. Thomas, a seasoned traveler, had taught English globally and was known for helping others. On August 23rd, their paths crossed with tragedy. That night, around 11:15 p.m., Smail Ayad, a 29-year-old French national sharing their dorm, launched a deadly attack. Ayad, who had used cannabis daily since age 12, suffered from paranoid schizophrenia, believing farmers and hostel staff plotted to kill him. He dragged Mia from her bed, holding a knife to her throat on the balcony. Hostel manager Grant Schultz, 46, tried to intervene but was stabbed in the leg. Mia, wounded, fled to a bathroom, locking herself in. Thomas heard the chaos and rushed to help, finding Mia bleeding. As he comforted her, Ayad kicked open the door and stabbed Thomas over 20 times, including a fatal wound to the brain. Mia died at the scene from a heart wound. Thomas fought for 6 days but died on August 29th in Townsville Hospital.
Ayad also killed the hostel's dog, Atari, and injured 12 police officers during his arrest, shouting Allahu Akbar and singing the French national anthem. Police ruled out terrorism, focusing on Ayad's mental state and possible obsession with Mia, whom he claimed he'd marry. He faced 16 charges, including 2 counts of murder, but on April 5, 2018, the Brisbane Mental Health Court dropped all charges. 4 psychiatrists confirmed Ayad's psychosis, noting his 7-week descent into delusions. He was detained at the Park Center for Mental Health and repatriated to France in 2021 for treatment. The tragedy shook Home Hill, known as Hell Hill for its rough backpacker culture. Mia's mother, Rosie Ayliffe, campaigned against the farm work visa rule, citing exploitation risks. Her 2021 book, Far From Home, helped end the policy in 2022. Thomas's family donated his organs, saving lives. He received the Queen's Gallantry Medal posthumously in 2018, presented to his mother by Prince William. Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk also nominated him for a Bravery Award. About 30 witnesses, including backpackers, saw the attack, some recording it on their phones. Mia's vibrant spirit and Thomas's selflessness left lasting marks. Rosie described Mia as sassy and kind, while Thomas's parents, Les and Sandra, called him a lifelong defender of the underdog. The case exposed mental health gaps and visa policy flaws, impacting Australia's 10,000 annual British backpackers. Next, we dive into a chilling tale where a peaceful hike turned into a predator's trap. If you're gripped by these stories, hit the like button and drop a comment with your thoughts. Your support keeps us going. Subscribe for more chilling tales.
Number 2. Julianne Williams and Laura Winons. In May 1996, Julianne Williams, 24, from St. Cloud, Minnesota, and Laura Winons, 26, from Unity, Maine, headed to Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. The couple, passionate about nature, wanted a quiet getaway before Julie's new job in Vermont. Shenandoah, covering 200,000 acres with 500 miles of trails, draws over 1.5 million visitors yearly. On May 19th, they entered the park with their golden retriever Taj, hiking the White Oak Canyon Trail. Heavy rain altered their plans, so they got permits for the Appalachian Trail near Skyland Lodge, a popular spot 1.5 miles away. Their campsite by a stream seemed perfect. Days passed with no word. On May 31st, Julie's father, Thomas, reported that they were missing after she hadn't called about her job. Rangers found their car near Skyland Lodge and Taj wandering alone, distressed. On June 1st, searchers reached the campsite and faced horror. Julie and Laura's bodies lay bound with duct tape, gagged, and slashed. Autopsies showed Julie had 12 stab wounds, Laura 15 with slit throats. Their belongings were untouched, ruling out robbery. A camera recovered showed happy moments until May 24th, their last known day alive. The brutality stunned the 20 Rangers and FBI agents on the case. Investigators zeroed in on Daryl David Rice, a 29-year-old with a history of violence against women. He was seen in Shenandoah that May, and restraints matching the crime were found in his van. Rice made chilling comments about hating lesbians, aligning with the couple's relationship. In 2002, he was charged with their murders, facing the death penalty. But in 2003, DNA from the scene, including hair and saliva, didn't match Rice or the victims, collapsing the case. He was convicted of unrelated crimes, serving 11 years. The murders remained unsolved, haunting the park's 101-mile Appalachian Trail section. For 28 years, the families endured pain. Julie's brother Mark and Laura's sister Ingrid pushed for answers. In June 2024, a breakthrough came. Advanced DNA testing by the FBI's Richmond lab, using 2023 technology, identified Walter Leo Jackson, a serial rapist from Cleveland, Ohio. Jackson, who died in prison in 2018 at 49, had a 1996 conviction for kidnapping and rape with DNA in CODIS. He frequented Shenandoah, living 60 miles away, in 1996. The match, confirmed at a 1 in 2.6 trillion probability, solved the case but offered no justice. The murders shook Shenandoah's reputation as a safe haven. In 1996, the park saw 1,000 search hours for Julie and Laura. The case spurred safety campaigns, with 10,000 hikers annually now advised to travel in groups. Julie, a geology graduate, and Laura, a wilderness guide, were mourned by 200 at a Burlington memorial. Their love for nature lives on in family scholarships. Get ready for our top story, where a dream trek became a global nightmare. Number 1. Louisa Vesterager, Yesperson, and Marin Uland. Louisa Vesterager Jespersen, 24, from Ikast, Denmark, and Marin Uland, 28, from Brine, Norway, were flatmates studying outdoor recreation at the University of Southeastern Norway. In December 2018, they embarked on a month-long holiday in Morocco, arriving on December 9th. Both were training to become tour guides and loved hiking. Their plan was to trek Mount Toubkal, North Africa's highest peak at 4,167 meters, located 10 kilometers from Imlil, a village of 4,000 in the Atlas Mountains. Morocco, hosting 13 million tourists annually, was considered safe, with its last major attack in 2011, a Marrakesh bombing killing 17. Louisa posted on Facebook for Toubkal tips, eager for the adventure. On December 15th, they set up camp near Toubkal's foothills, a popular spot drawing 20,000 hikers yearly. Unbeknownst to them, 4 men, Abdesamad Ejud, 25, Younes Waziad, 27, Rashid Afati, 33, and Abderrahim Kayali, 36, had pledged allegiance to the Islamic State in a video days earlier. Ejud, a street vendor previously jailed for trying to join ISIS in Syria, led the group. They stalked Louisa and Marin for 4 days, choosing them because they camped without guides. On December 17th, after nightfall, the men attacked their tent. Ejud and Waziad stabbed and beheaded the women, while Afati filmed, chanting jihadist slogans like "Enemies of Allah." Autopsies revealed 23 wounds on Louisa's body and 7 on Marin's, mostly to their necks. 2 French hikers found the bodies at 7 a.m., one inside the tent, the other outside, both decapitated. Moroccan police arrested 18 suspects within days, nabbing Ejud, Waziad, and Afati on a Marrakesh bus with the murder weapons. Kayali, who left before the attack but taught the others encrypted messaging, was caught hours later. The trial began May 2, 2019, in Saleh's anti-terrorism court near Rabat. 24 suspects faced charges, including murder and forming a terrorist cell. Ejud admitted to beheading one woman, Waziad the other, and Afati confirmed filming. On July 18th, the court sentenced the 3 to death, despite Morocco's execution moratorium since 1993. Kayali, initially given life, received a death sentence in October 2019, but died by suicide in Uland prison on February 28, 2023, hanging himself with a cloth. The court ordered 2 million dirhams, about $209,000 in compensation to Marin's family, but Louisa's lawyers, arguing the men couldn't pay, sought state funds and were denied. The murders shocked Morocco, Denmark, and Norway. Louisa's funeral on January 12, 2019, in Ikast drew Denmark's Prime Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen. Marin's on January 21st in Marin was attended by Norway's Health Minister Bent Høie and Morocco's Ambassador Lamia Radi. Helle Petersen, Louisa's mother, demanded the death penalty in a letter read in court, calling the killers beasts. The case hurt Morocco's tourism, which accounts for 10% of its $140 billion GDP. Over 1,600 Moroccans have joined ISIS in Syria, prompting the 2015 creation of the Bureau Central d'Investigation Judiciaire to counter returning jihadists. The video, verified by Moroccan and Norwegian authorities, spread online, prompting Denmark to charge 14 people in 2019 for sharing it, 6 aged 13 to 18. Louisa and Marin were vibrant adventurers. Louisa traveled to Peru and Argentina, while Marin wrote about nature's healing power in her final university paper. Their deaths exposed the reach of terrorism, even in stable countries, and left their families, including Marin's friend, killed in the 2011 bombing, in perpetual grief. We've reached the end. If you found this video gripping, like and subscribe for more content. Comment your thoughts below and share to keep these stories alive.